Welcome to the broadcast, everybody. We are talking about sales tax for a minute today. And recently, there's been a bit of a glitch inside the Volusion software on sales tax. And I want to show you guys sort of how to get around that glitch and still be able to get your sales tax set up correctly. Now, first, just by way of a review, and it may not be a review for some of you, but let me say this anyway. By law, you are required to charge sales tax to people who purchase within your state where you live, not where your supplier is based, not where, under no other circumstances other than where you as a business are based. So since you may live in, say, Colorado, then anybody within the confines of Colorado will be someone you've got to charge sales tax to. If me, being in Utah or Arizona or Washington or California or Oregon or whatever state that I reside in that's outside of your home state, if I buy from you, then there's no need to charge sales tax. Okay? That's the first thing. And additionally, if you are going to charge sales tax within your state, you really should have a sales tax permit of some kind. A reseller license, sometimes they're called, or sometimes they're called a state tax ID. But most states have some sort of a permit they issue to you so that you can legally charge sales tax and then know the goings and comings of paying that sales tax to the state. Now, luckily for us, we're running an internet business, and there are 49 other states that we're going to be selling to. So the vast majority of your sales are not going to be taxable. You're not going to be charging tax, and your customer isn't going to be paying tax. However, for your state, the one that you reside in as a business, like I said, if you sell to someone living in that state, you must charge them sales tax. Now, luckily for us, the builder does this automatically. You just have to set it up. So here's what you do. You come over here to where it says, go to settings and then tax. So settings up here. Right now, we're in our Volusion dashboard. Settings and then tax. And if this is the first time you're doing it, in most cases, it's going to default to what you're seeing right here. It's going to say verify tax rate. And it's actually going to give you a Utah zip code and tax rate. For most of you guys, unless you live in Utah, that's not correct. Okay? We need to change this. But here's the catch. You're actually going to still click yes, looks good, even though we don't want to keep that. We initially need to make this work. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'm going to click yes, looks good. And then it says a tax record has been added in green, and then it'll actually list the tax record. Now I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to make a change. I'm going to make a fix. I'm going to come up here to where it says add at the top right, and I'm going to add the correct one really quick. I'm going to leave the Utah one still there, but I'm going to add the correct one. So I'm going to click add, and we'll say we're in Georgia. And I guess I need a Georgia zip code. Let me just find a random one here. This looks like one right here. We're going to do 30101. Now, when you put in your zip code, it's automatically going to populate your tax rate field. But if you click somewhere, it's going to get rid of it. Notice how I clicked and that it disappeared. So I'm going to have to do this again. Add. I'm going to select Georgia again. 30101. And you notice how it automatically populated the tax rate. And I'm going to hit add. And that's going to load it in. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate the Utah one. And you can easily eliminate it by clicking on this little trash symbol right here. Okay. So let's click on that. Yes, delete. And that's gone. And now my Georgia state tax code is there. Now, the way this works internally, just so you know, now that this has been enabled and it's good to go, and just as a reminder, I'm only putting in Georgia here because I'm pretending for just a minute that I live in Georgia. My internet business is based in Georgia. Therefore, I need to add this Georgia tax rate because any of my customers who are also living in Georgia will be required to pay this. All right? So we're clear on that. The way this works is if somebody from Georgia came into your site and ordered something, when they got to the shopping cart and they're ready to check out, they would be required to put in their shipping address and their payment address and details. Well, the Volusion builder will automatically look for that Georgia address, because when that comes up, it'll automatically signal to the shopping cart that, hey, this person is from Georgia, and we need to charge them an extra tax rate, which it will then proceed to do. And it will state that added tax amount to the customer so they're not caught off guard by it. And then they go ahead and pay. And you'll be paid that certain amount with the added Georgia state sales tax. And what will you need to do with that money? Well, you'll need to set it aside, maybe in a separate bank account. Maybe you just keep it in your same bank account and just make sure you don't spend it. And depending on your state laws, could be quarterly, could be monthly, could be annually, whatever you need to do, you're going to need to pay your state sales tax. And I can't give you anything concrete on that because I don't know your state laws. You would need to contact the state and just find out at what kind of an interval they expect you to be paying up that sales tax. Now, again, you won't be writing large checks, likely, right? Even if you're doing a lot in sales, only occasionally are you going to sell to somebody who lives in your state. Most of your sales will be outside of that. So I don't anticipate you'll be writing large checks, but you still need to know by law what you're obligated to do and the interval that you need to be paying those taxes to the state. And again, you're not really paying the taxes at all, right? That money's coming from your customers. You're basically just holding on to it and then making one lump payment to the state as often as they want. Okay? That's what you're legally obligated to do. Now, some of you have said to me, now wait a minute, what if I don't have a reseller tax permit? What should I do? Well, for the time being, you don't have to charge sales tax. You could simply just put in your policies that, unfortunately, at this time, you can't sell to Georgia state residents. That could be your policy because you don't have the tax number. I don't think that would hurt your business too much, at least at the start when you're smaller. So if you don't want to go out and get a tax number, that's how you could handle it. You could put that information on a policy page, and then you wouldn't have to worry about all of this. I would encourage you, however, to get a tax number. In most cases, you'll need one anyway for suppliers. Get it set up, get it registered. In most cases, it doesn't really cost all that much. Maybe 25 or 30 bucks for the year, depending on your state. Some states, of course, more or less, but that's a good rough average. Pay for it and then do just what I showed you how to do here and start charging sales tax when needed. Okay? But the big thing is I wanted to show you how to get through that glitch. Some of you guys have been trying to add the tax rate lately, and it just hasn't worked for you. So accept that initial Utah one, add the new one like I just did, and then delete the Utah one and save it, and you should be good to go. Okay? All right, guys. Well, I hope that was helpful. Good luck to you guys as you set up your tax rates and get your tax numbers, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for coming along.